Hey everybody, Pat Casella and Dan Freeman from Video 360. How we doing today? We are going to talk about the Autopilot. That Autopilot is our auto tracking camera. It leverages our Sabre 20X NDI camera as the main camera for it, and it works on facial recognition. Dan, tell us a little bit about the Autopilot and the PerfectTrack software.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. The autopilot system is truly a system. It's made up of three parts. It's the camera, obviously, is primary because that's what you see, but there's a lot more going on to it than just the camera. There's also the Nook PC that we use. We use that Intel i3 Nook, and we will load it up with Windows 10, so that it's very easy for IT departments to feel comfortable with having this PC on the network. Then on top of that, we use our PerfectTrack software. Now, PerfectTrack, what it does is does face recognition. It says, okay, I'm going to track the largest face in the space, and then it looks at your motion and shape. When it has your face, that's what it's going to grab. But then it says, okay, well, I want to see motion and what shape it is, so that even if I don't have a face to track at that time, I can track it. So like I'm going to give you a little demo. I've got the PerfectTrack sitting up above my screen here. Just, of course, we are in a lab, not in a classroom, but that's why it's kind of out of the right frame for where we're going to be. But it works great. So as you see, the camera just follows me around just fine. I can move around. I don't have to be facing the camera. It's tracking me, and it's right on the money. What I like about the PerfectTrack is the way that, I don't know if you noticed, it zooms in and out. It's the only tracking solution out there that does that consistently and almost like a human camera operator.
Yeah, really smooth
Yeah,
operation.
thanks, man. I'm going to show you what the control interface looks like real quick, if you don't mind. So, basically you can see that the camera doesn't move around when I'm not moving around. So it's just, it wants me. So this is what the control interface looks like. And if you notice, here's the video box. It's showing you that it's grabbed my face, and that's where all the magic is happening, right? In that part of it. But we also have return to home, start tracking, stop tracking, and quit the system. A couple of status check marks across the top there. And at the very top here, you can see that it's on my network. By being on my network, I can use my phone to do that same control. So if I wanted to browse to that particular website, it would bring up just this control here.
I see.
It's not going to bring up the video because I don't want to transmit that video over the network for security reasons. So you can bring out any of the outputs of the Sabre to record this, because that Sabre 20's got so many outputs. It's got the HDMI, SDI. Yeah, the USB is what's used to go into the Nook. So that's the one that we're using to drive the camera over the OS232. But you can also use the NDI and the IP connections if you wanted to stream off of this.
Right.
A very good solution for that. We do have two versions of it because a lot of people like having the USB as a connector. If you're bringing it into like a Zoom call or you're recording it down onto the local PC. So by doing that, though, we're already using that USB connection going into the Nook, and that you have to use that one for latency. There's some technical reasons. So you extend the HDMI, and then you just use USB, the HDMI frame grabber on the end. And we have it. We have a couple of different packages for doing that.
Right. So where is this camera most likely to be deployed?
Well, obviously, it's a lecture capture camera. That's what it was built for. It's not necessarily a conference room camera unless you use that conference room for
presentations.
For doing presentations.
Yeah.
It's for tracking a presentation. The presenter up the front of the room. Yeah, it's going to grab onto the largest space in the frame.
Okay.
So if you have somebody in a business meeting that turns around and does a photo bomb, we'll call it, onto the camera, it's going to start tracking that. Yeah, it is set up for doing like lecture capture from up on high. Frankly, we sell a lot of these into the worship market, and they may use two of them. So you have a controller that is switching back and forth from views, but that same view that the presenter or whoever's given the sermon up the front is being tracked the whole time from a couple of different viewpoints. We've seen them used in TEDx conferences for the same type of thing.
So it eliminates the cameraman, helps cut the expense of having a cameraman.
Yeah, and it works so smoothly, it does feel like there's a cameraman there. And since we are using the same sensor, like there's a lot of products out there doing auto tracking, but they're using two sensors. So it's not really giving you the true view of what's going to go on for the tracking. So like we can walk more than 180 degrees around the camera and the camera's going to stay on you. Whereas the wide angle view cameras are going to lose you. You're going to step out of frame. Yeah. Right.
So we have two versions of this camera. The first one is non-USB 3.0, and that one lists out at $35.45.
Yeah.
And then the second version has USB 3.0, and that's $37.45 list price.
Yeah, it's they're not cheap. It's not an inexpensive camera,
but they're the most high quality
extremely
effective camera.
Yeah, it's extremely effective. It's very comparable to the $10,000, $20,000 units that are out there today. So for your value,
a fraction of the cost, right?
Yeah, for really good value.
Awesome. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Again, Pat and Dan here from Video 360, and remember, video, vision, dedication, and outstanding value. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.